you want to be the best hunter with Longsword. In this video, I'm going to show you the basics of the Longsword, like the basic inputs. I'm also going to teach you the somewhat medium stuff that you are going to be doing as a little bit more of elaborate things. And then after that, I'm going to give you like my master tips that I like to use with my Longsword, and also the best combos, the most damaging combos, the best thing that you can do to always be active, to always at all times be dealing damage. So yeah, let's just get right into it, and we're going to start with just the basic inputs. So for the basic attacks, you just have to do like the transformation in here for your desired platform, either PC or PlayStation. I'm using PC on Xbox controller, so yeah, that's something that you need to have in mind. But you have a very basic attack and the very basic combo. This is also infinite, something that you can do infinitely. It's going to be Y as much as you want. This is going to be filling out your spirit bar, and it's like this overhead damage that it's useful to be reaching higher parts of monsters, like more bigger monsters, that if you're meaning to cut the tail, that's something that you can do with this guy right here. I also mentioned that you're filling up your spirit bar. We'll talk about that in a little while once we get into the more complicated stuff. But then you also have the B combo, which is a poking attack combo. It's the very same thing. You just press B until you want to. This is also going to be filling out your spirit bar, and these guys can be interchangeable in between each other. So it could be either YB or YYB or BBY. It can be however you would want for it to be. However, these are just regular inputs that we're not necessarily going to be using this way. I'm just here the messenger to give you the message. Like, these are the inputs that you can do with the sword. And then we have the Y plus B. This is one of my favorites. As a matter of fact, this is one of the ones that we're going to be doing with the most complicated combos for the weapon. But yeah, it's essentially like that. The cool thing about this specific move is that it moves you throughout the battlefields, so it's very useful to move away from the enemy's attack. Remember that Monster Hunter doesn't rely that much on iframes, provided that if you have a build for iframing, like that's something that you can take advantage of and leverage off. But this is a game that relies more on dodging the enemy attacks by movement, and the Longsword is not that much of a movable weapon. It doesn't have that much movement. The overall defense that you're going to have with the Longsword is going to be through parries. We'll talk about that in a little while. But this attack is very useful because it allows for you to move to a different place, and remember that being on specific places and monsters prompts for them to do a specific attack. The AI does specific attacks more often when you are in certain parts of the monster, certain locations of the monster, like the legs or the tail or the head. It depends on how acquainted you are with the monster. That's just a little something that you need to have in mind in here. Now, the parry. After any attack, and you have at least 0.101 spirit bar, the spirit bar is going to be filling out with your Y or B attacks, or your Y plus B attack, but we'll get deeper into that a little later. All you have to do is you need to have at least one tiny little bit of small amount of your spirit bar, and then you press the RT plus B. This is going to perform a parry. The frame window for the parry, it's actually very lenient. As a matter of fact, this is one of the biggest that you have in here with this weapon. And the cool thing about this thing is that if you have spirit after you have managed to make the attack or not, well, get into deeper and more complicated things about this later on. But if you follow up with a RT, which is a spirit slash, we'll talk about that in a little while as well. The spirit slashes, if you follow it up, it's going to fill 1 meter of your spirit bar, which is very useful. And that's overall the playstyle that we're going to be adopting. Just have in mind that this input that I'm showing you right here before we have the knowledge of the spirit bar, that is going to be a parry that is very substantial in your favor because it's going to fill your spirit bar. And then we have the spirit combo. To perform a spirit combo, you need spirit bar, and every time that you feel that you complete a spirit combo, this is going to allow you to raise one level of your spirit bar. There's up to 3 levels. Like I said, we'll talk about that in a little while. Just have in mind that if you have enough spirit bar, just press RT, 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 and that is going to complete the combo. Then we also have the AI stance, which is this very, very cool and weevil move that you can see in here. After any input of the previous ones that I have shown you so far, it can be like the Y, it could be like the B, it could be like YB, it could be the spirits combo, it could be anything really, and you're going to enter into this stance by pressing RT plus A, and then you can follow up this move with a different input. Pressing Y, it's going to do a double slash that is going to give you some passive bonus to your spirit bar, which is going to be filling out with time without you requiring to deal any damage. So that's very useful. But also, it could be used as a parry, and this is one of the best parry setups that you have in here. The only downside is that the parry window for this is very, and I mean very, very small. So you do have a very, very small window in here, and that's because of balance. Because yes, the parrying on the longsword requires for the enemy to do an attack while you finish doing an attack. So the cool thing about this is that you can prepare it, because you can delay the parry not as much as you want, but you can stand in there with the AI stance for a long time before you actually decide to commit to a parry. However, if you feel that the enemy is going to do some kind of attack that you're not feel comfortable by doing the AI slash, then you can just follow up with a Y and continue with your life. And finally, we have the Helm Breaker, which is going to be performed by RT plus A. That's going to launch you into this thrusting animation, and while you are on that thrusting animation, after you have landed on the ground, while you are landing on the ground, you will see your character flying in the air. You press the RT as well, and that is going to do a Helm Breaker that is going to divide itself into small little attacks that are going to be dealing quite a bit of damage, and that damage is going to be dependent. The higher the damage is going to be dependent on how much spirit bar you are going to have, and that's the basic of the weapon. Those are all of the inputs that you have with the weapon. Now, let's move over to a little bit more complicated stuff and the intricacies of the weapon. First and foremost, we have been talking about the spirit bar for quite a while. What is the spirit bar? Well, the spirit bar is the living blood of the longswords. Every time that you deal damage with either Y or B or YB, that is going to be filling out your spirit bar. You need spirit bar to be able to perform the spirit combo for the trigger. So you cannot do trigger attacks if you don't have spirit bar. If you finish a spirit combo, it's going to raise your level of your spirit bar by 1. And the spirit bar has 3 levels. It has been changed quite a little bit since previous iterations of Monster Hunter, but essentially you want to at all times, if not most of the time, be on the 3rd level. You don't want to be doing Helm Breakers while you have like the yellow bar or the white bar. You always want to ensure that you're always on the red bar. And once you're in the red bar, it's not going to allow you, like in previous games, to continue filling it out. Like, for example, in previous games, you would already be on the red bar, and it would be like diminishing slowly, and then you would just have to continue a spirit slash combo or a spirit combo for you to fill it out back again. It doesn't happen in here anymore. That's why I'm thinking that there's going to be one skill that is going to be very meta, which is power extender, but we'll not get into that into this video. That's going to be a matter for a different video. Just have in mind that as soon as you reach the final bar, that's when you're going to be your bar is going to be, let's call it, awakened state, and you're going to have a little bit more combos. So from the previous combos that I show you, you can continue the spirit combo, the RT combo, and your character is going to enter into this kind of stance. It's going to be longer, it's going to be dealing more damage, and it's going to be much more movable. And then also the Helm Breaker is going to change. If you use the Helm Breaker while you are on the awakened spirit bar, you can follow up with the RT twice instead of once. Have in mind that this is going to diminish completely your spirit bar, like in its fullness, and if you get interrupted, you are still going to lose that spirit bar. But if you manage to land it or to get it through, it's going to be amazing, because that's going to be the most damage that you're going to deal with this weapon. That's going to be the most damaging attack that you're going to have with this weapon. It also changes the animation of the parry, the regular the regular RTB parry, and it deals a little bit more damage. It gives you a little bit more of mobility, and I'm not sure if it has a little bit more iframes, but it's also going to consume quite a bit more of your spirit bar, and if you don't land it, you're just going to consume it. Have in mind that this is going to be diminishing, and you don't have any more ways for you to get it back until it has finished, and then you get it once again. So you do have to be using your parries with the awakened spirit bar with more leniency. Now, another thing of the medium kind of stuff that I can't stress enough how powerful it is for you to go into options. Once you are into options, you are going to find your controls. Once you are in your controls, you're going to move towards the right, and here you're going to find the aim / focus mode control. For weapons, my personal preference, this is not like a hard something that you need to do, but my personal preference is that you have it on toggle, because having focus on weapons gives you a whole bunch of benefits, especially useful with the longswords. So the focus mode is not only going to be useful to break the wounds that the enemies may or may not have, the focus mode is going to allow you to aim a little bit better to monster parts. And since the weapons are so movable right now, they have so much movement now, it's in your best interest to use this thing as much as you can. Like for example, while I'm doing like regular fighting, I like to have the basic combat camera that is following the monster and for it to be doing my parries or things like that. But as soon as I enter into my awakened spirit bar, since your character is so movable and I know that I can see the enemy in front of me and that I can be moving like a maniac, like a dancer throughout the battlefields, I just like to toggle this thing and start spamming my spirit combos, because I don't have much time in here. I have to be aggressive. And if I'm holding the LT button, if you select the whole thing, it can be done, but it's just more muscle memory that you need to have in mind, and it's just easier for me to press it once, and then I can start moving throughout the battlefield with my focus mode and start using my AI combo at my leisure however I want to. And this is also, I can't stress enough, I have been playing Monster Hunter for quite a while. I have been playing it since PlayStation 2. I sunk about 1,000 hours into Monster Hunter World. I sunk about 500 hours into Monster Hunter Rise. And if I am telling you this, is because even I have spent so much time, I have whiffed so many Helmbreakers, and it hurts. It's painful when you whiff a Helmbreaker, because you take all of that time building your spirit bar and then awakening your spirit bar, and if somebody tells you that they are perfect and that they have never whiffed it before because they are just masters of longswords, they are just trying to be edgy, and it's just downright not true, dude. I whiffed enough, but with this focus mode, like, this is like a heaven-sent gift from Capcom. I feel that I am much more in control of my Helmbreakers, and if I ever miss a Helmbreaker, and this is actually possibly true, ever since I have been using focus mode from the betas, from the time that I have been playing the game, I have never whiffed a Helmbreaker, if it's not because the monster moved to a different location, but not because I didn't aim properly, because the focus mode is just so amazing. So that's just an extra little something that you need to have in mind. Now that we have covered the basics, and now that we have covered the more intricate, complicated little stuff, now let's talk about the best combos and how to master the weapon on itself. So the best way to prepare a parry, and you will see a lot of pros while doing videos making things like this. Parrying, it's a bit weird because you have to match your own animation, and you also have to match the monster animation. So we can set it up. And the way we all like to set it up, remember that parry is for master play. If you don't like to use parries, then you don't really have to. It's just for people that actually do like to parry with the weapon quite a lot. It's the true form of the weapon, like parrying like a maniac. So the best way to prepare a parry is by pressing B, because by pressing B you do a very, very fast poke right? So with that very, very fast poke, you have the chance to immediately follow up with a parry. But what happens? What's the issue? If a monster is delaying the attack, you can also delay your attack by pressing the B and then laying still for a little while until you feel that you are going to be able to perform the parry. So even when the monsters are going to be delayed their attack, you can still do the parry. In here, it's not going to be infinite time that you're going to be. You have to take a look at the weapon, and there's like not like an amazing advice that I can give you. It's just like marry it with your weapon and feel your weapon, and whenever you see that you're going to start like going into not battle position, that's when you're not going to be allowed to be using the parry. But this is also very amazing because there are very fast attacking monsters that do not allow you to prepare with, like, for example, a spirit combo or with a Y. At that time you can just press B really fast and then immediately go into parry. Now, the fastest way to fill up your spirit bar, this is assuming that you don't have like any spirit bar at all, and this is what I like to use as my bread and butter. As a matter of fact, this is what I'm using like 60 or 70% of the time whenever I don't have enough spirit bar. You just press Y and then YB and then RT, RT, RT. That is going to give you one little bit of spirit bar, and then the YB is going to fill it up a little bit more. It gives you like a huge amount of spirit bar, and then you continue the combo, because every time that you combine the YB combo with a RT, it's going to diminish the amounts of requirement for your spirit combo. So the spirit combo would usually require for you to use 4 inputs, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. This reduces down to 3. There's also the infinite combo that I'm going to have for you right here. This you can use at your leisure, you can use however you want to, and as a matter of fact, again, this is something that I use like 60% of the time. You can in between slot like a parry in here if you feel like to. After the end of this combo, you're going to be given the choice to either do a parry or to continue with the infinite combo. So the infinite combo input is going to be the Y plus B plus RT plus RT plus RT plus RTA. At this point, you're already on your AI stance. Here, you want to decide if you want to continue with the combo, because here you can either follow up with a Y, or if you feel that the enemy is going to, if you have like the enemy in front of you and you feel like you have enough time to do a parry, that's something that you can do with a parry. But if you did continue with the Y, then you're going to follow up then again with the YB, and this is an infinite combo that is always going to be giving you damage, is always going to be filling up. It doesn't matter that you're not like using like that many Ys because of the AI stance double slash that you have right there. You're always going to have enough spirit bar to continue this infinite combo. This is what I like to do almost most of the time. The most damaging and dangerous combo, this is for toppled enemies, the combo that you're going to be doing whenever you have a toppled enemy. Of course, provided that you actually do have your full spirit bar. I like to use a full combo of the spirit slashes, the full RT. Remember that it has extra inputs. To be safe, on the safe side, I like to use it like to do it once and then follow up with a handbreaker, follow up with a double input of the RT. But if you have enough time, like if you have like a toppled enemy or they knocked it down or they like it's paralyzed, if you feel that you have enough time, you can slot the infinite combo to some extent. It's going to be RT, 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 RT as much as you find yourself in that situation, and then you connect another one with the AI stance and then Y, and then you start doing the RT. As soon as you see that the enemy is getting up, that's when you're going to be doing the handbreaker. Finally, as a final note, remember that you can slot a Y after a spirit combo. So for example, if you by mistake started a spirit combo and you feel that you don't have enough spirit bar, spirit meter to continue the combo, and you're going to whiff the combo, remember that you can be slotting in between those locations either a Y or a B. My advice is that every time that you're going to be doing this, slot it with a B, because remember that the B is the best option for you to prepare for parries. It is a very long video, but this should get you started from the basic all into the intermediate, all into the master combos. Then the real monster of the real learning of how to manage to master these weapons, this longsword, is the friends that we made along. Well, not really. The real master of mastering like any weapon is going to be acquainted with the monster. That is specifically true with this weapon, because here you need to know their weapon, their attacks, their patterns, how do they move, when do they move, what procs them to do specific moves. So with all of this knowledge that I just showed you in mind, now you need to learn the monsters and how to take advantage of the fights because of each specific individual monster. If you like the content, like and never super appreciate it, and also you're a gorgeous beautiful person, you are indeed a gorgeous beautiful person, subscribe to the channel, join the Discord, have a beautiful day, and goodbye.